Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. So glad you guys could join us once again. For those tuning in on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X, we're glad that you all can be with us. We're about to connect with our friends over on IG so they can be a part of our conversation. And last but certainly not least, and they're already ready over there, we're going to go ahead and connect with our friends over on Amazon Live. Have a returning guest that's with us today, what I'm very excited about. And we're now live on Amazon Live with Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm excited about today's show. If you guys are new to us on Amazon, welcome. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button, though. You'll see it either here in this corner or down below. You also will see the book by our next guest. So excited to welcome back Ally Dalsimer to our broadcast today. You guys know her as the best-selling author of this book, It's Okay Not to Be Fabulous Every Day. It's also an award-winning book. I want to talk to Ally about some great themes that are in her book that are very timely for us today, but also how it kind of fits into her life that she's living right now. If you guys are not staying connected with Ally, and more importantly, not signed up to her newsletter, we'll let you guys know how to do that. Ally, welcome back to the broadcast.
Thank you so much, Cyrus. It feels like forever since we've been together. I'm glad to be here.
Look, glad to have you back on with us. It's always a great time. Melissa's joining us over on IG. Hello to you,
Hey.
Melissa. Glad you can be able to join us. So I'm excited about today. As I mentioned, your book covers so much. And even though it is a personal journey for you, there are, I think, some very broad strokes that impact us all, Ally. What has that been like for you to think about as you've been discussing the book and reflecting on the book yourself?
Yeah. So the whole point of putting this out there and sharing my stories is so people can find themselves in them. Because as I say, even though the specifics of my ups and downs, my ins and outs, my slings and arrows may be different from other people's, the basic tenets of those struggles are common to all of us. We all suffer loss and grief and joy and sadness. And so it's been really it's been great having people respond so positively and actually take those messages and apply them to their own lives, because as you know, this book is not, it's not prescriptive, it's not didactic, it's not like this is the answer. It's, here's a situation and here's how I dealt with it, and here's some opportunities that you can think about for how to deal with it. And so it's great that people can take that from that and from the framework that's offered.
I want to talk about another aspect that's important, especially for those who haven't read the book yet, Ally. Of course, we want them to get their copy here on Amazon, as I mentioned. We're going to also let them know how to stay connected with you, because each one of the chapters starts not with a quote from you, but from quotes from a variety of sources. How did you kind of decide on what quotes you wanted to use? And talk to us about the role of quotes and affirmations for yourself in your life.
Yeah, so I'm a big one for finding little nuggets of wisdom everywhere, everything
Mhm.
from fortune cookies to, music to movies to books, whatever. I've got quotes, as you know, from, Led Zeppelin and Yoda and Finding Nemo and Lao Tzu, and Martin Luther King Jr. And, it's just a wide variety, because life is a very complex organism, and there's never one size fits all for anything. And
Right.
different people have different wisdom, and you can find wisdom anywhere, and try to apply that into your life. And so for me, I had this cabinet where I had all these stickies. I know, these little,
Mhm.
mostly yellow but multicolored stickies with
Mhm.
all these quotes on them. And that was the basis for the book. And a lot of them have overlapping meaning. So I used maybe 40% of my quotes, because a lot of them are, similar in meaning. But I still like them, and I still say them to myself all the time.
Yeah.
Like the big one that I keep telling myself right now is, "There's still time to change the road you're on," which is,
Mm.
a song lyric. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's been, they've been really helpful, and that's really why I use them, because I wanted to demonstrate that there's wisdom everywhere, and people can find meaning in even the smallest of sayings.
Mm. And the title, It's Okay Not to Be Fabulous Every Day, it sounds great, but when did you start being able to tell yourself that and believe it, Ellie?
Yeah, that's been fairly recent. It's actually, the title came to me as I was um, really putting together what became the book. It started as life advice for my kids. And I was going through a personal um, dip, a downtime.
Yeah.
I had, I'd lost my husband a few years before, and then I'd run for public office while being a full-time caregiver for my mom who passed. And then my children both left for school, and I found myself alone, living alone for the first time. And my business had failed. And I was at a low point and really struggling with what to do. And so I pulled out all these notes, which had served as the basis for a little life advice book that I started it actually shortly after my husband passed, and then, got busy with life and work and whatever.
Right.
And so I pulled it out and started putting it together. And there was just one day where I was like, I just can't do everything I need to do. I just can't do it. And I just thought to myself, it's okay. It's okay. I don't have to be fabulous every day. And then
Yeah.
that became the title of the book. And of course, the subtitle is A Journey to Self-Discovery, because that whole process of really internalizing that it is okay. Like, it really is okay. It's okay not to have all the answers. It's okay to need help. It's okay to fall down. All those things. It takes time to grace yourself that kind of understanding and forgiveness. And so it's a journey to the point where you can discover that you really are a worthwhile person whose dreams are worthy, and that you really can do what you need to do, even if you have to take a step back on any given day.
Right. I thought about something. I don't know if I've ever asked you this question, but I thought about it as you were just talking, which is the great thing about having these conversations and going in different directions, Allie. The idea of being okay with not being fabulous, was that more for yourself or an answer to other people who may expect it? And I ask that question because a lot of our audience may be in a position where they're expected to be fabulous. They're expected to have it all together. Then there
Yeah.
are others who expect that of themselves. Which category did you find yourself in, and coming to that realization for yourself?
That question actually can potentially open a very deep can of worms. Um, I grew up. Um, I grew up the child of an alcoholic and a very controlling parent. Like, my mother was an alcoholic, my father's was a very controlling person.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up as the eldest child with a very sort of type A. I have to be everything, do everything. I can't make mistakes. If I'm absolutely perfect, then I am deserving of love. And so originally it may have come from external, but as a child, you internalize those things.
Right.
And then you start to feel inadequate if you're not amazing every day. And if you mess up or make a mistake, then it's like, it's horrible. And, I remember so many nights just like lying in bed and just beating myself up for things that had happened that I did wrong or didn't know how to do, or whatever it was. So for me, that that sense of it's okay not to be fabulous was my forgiving myself and allowing myself to really embrace that I can be me. I can embrace my perfect imperfections. We are imperfect by nature. Humans are imperfect. And
Right.
what we have that is unique to us is what makes us special. And in coming to the point where I have learned to really not only love myself, but like myself, I've realized it doesn't matter what other people think.
Yeah.
I don't worry about what other people think. It doesn't matter if other people think I'm fabulous or not. I can't control what they think. I can't
Yeah.
control what they say. All I can do is embrace who I am and be the best that I can be at whatever, you know, at whatever I'm trying to do or achieve.
Yeah, I love that. And thank you so much for sharing that. And I wanted to ask you that because, again, I know our audience can appreciate that and may fall in one of those categories. That leads me to one of the two passages in the book I want to talk to you about. So let's lighten things up and talk about Dr. Seuss.
Okay.
On page 113,
I like
you,
nonsense.
you have the quote, "I like nonsense. It wakes up the brain cells. I love the fact that you, under the subheading, each of us has a gift. You say this, and I think this is so important, and something a lot of people can relate to. Freeing our minds doesn't mean not doing the shopping, cooking, laundry, pick up, drop off, paying bills, etc. It means that by allowing our thoughts to wander during menial tasks, we can avoid total immersion in our daily grinds and liberate our subconscious to perceive what success means for us. While indulging in a bit of free time, our subconscious may unveil a deep desire or talent we hadn't previously acknowledged or understood. Opening ourselves and our minds can release infinite insights into who we are and who we want to be. Each of us has a gift, and even though our gifts differ, everyone has the potential to excel in some way and love doing it. I wanted to bring this up, Ally, because I love the fact, if anyone who's seen you on social, you are not afraid of trying new things. You're not afraid of pushing yourself. Talk to us about what that's been like for you, the freedom of doing that, but also the benefits that you personally felt in doing it.
Well, I spent the first several decades of my life unwilling to take risks
Mm.
and missing out. And one lesson that I've learned, that I think many people learn as they go through life, is that you really don't regret the things that you try. You regret the things you never tried, because then you're left with, what if,
Yeah.
if only. And so part of my recent journey, and part of the journey that I am trying to share through this book, is go for it, do it. What have you got to lose? And just figure out what it is you love, and do it. Philosophers of old, the Socrates and Greek philosophers, they didn't have the internet or cell phones or televisions or whatever. And they would sit around for hours and just contemplate their inner selves, the universe, the meaning of life. And while we have so much more knowledge now, I think we have much less understanding,
Mm.
And I think if we take time and just be with ourselves, be with our thoughts, allow our minds to wander. Nobody needs to be, really concentrating when you're adding detergent to the washing machine. That's, it's
Right.
not, it's not a complex task.
Right.
So, take these little moments and think about what it is you're allowing, allow your brain to go and see where it takes you, right? Like, what is it you like doing? Or what is it that comes to mind? Or if you think about, where's my favorite place in the world, and find where that is. Because I used to, every time somebody asked me, where's your favorite place to vacation? Where's your favorite place to go? I would find a location. And I've finally come to understand my favorite place to be, and this is just me, is with my kids.
Mm.
It's not an external location.
Yeah.
I was always thinking, oh, we have to go on vacation here. We have to go to the park. We have to do this. We don't have to do any of that stuff. Like, I just
Right.
enjoy hanging out. So that's my favorite place to be. And I don't think I would have come to that if I hadn't spent a little bit of time with my inner reflection, with
Mm.
introspection. And so I think that's where that quote comes from. I like nonsense. It frees the mind, because we are too serious about things that are unimportant. So let's
Yes.
just be free
Yeah.
and allow ourselves to explore and see what comes from it.
And one thing I've learned, to go along with your point, Ellie, is that what I feel like is such a big deal and so important is that is personal. That's why I love the fact that you said about our personal success, because certain things we make important for us that other people are like, okay, that's not really a big deal. But so kind of identifying what those things are and realizing the place they have in our lives, I think, is so important. The last thing I want to mention, though, is something that, again, a lot of people, I don't talk about, well, I do for the radio side because I'm the news director. I do a news show Monday through Friday outside of what I do with Amazon and the other platforms. But there are a lot of people, and I'm feeling it, and there are a lot of people going through a lot of things right now, Allie. And I was prepping for your segment. The other quote I wanted to mention is, for those who have the book, on page 61, a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Hatred paralyzes life, love releases it. Hatred confuses life, love harmonizes it. Hatred darkens life, love illuminates it. And you started off by saying something very powerful. Humans inherently fear change. What has it been like for you, considering who you are and the way you see the world? What has it been like for you to kind of be going through this time that we seem to be in, where there seems to be so much confusion and turmoil, as well as fear, and not giving into the fear and leaning toward love?
Yeah. Yeah. It's, well, first of all, I think it's important to differentiate between sort of the generalized and very real anxiety that I think a lot of us have right now with respect to national and world events.
Hmm.
These are very serious issues. And, I try to stay away from the political, because the truth is that everybody, regardless of their political affiliations, suffers from anxiety and fear and all these things. Um, but I, 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 I'm a strong supporter in human rights, all humans' rights to the basics, to the requirements of life. And I think hate is wrong and war is wrong, because I think they go against basic, um, just basic. I don't know what the right word is, but just the way we need to live.
Yeah.
Um, and so I will avoid the political,
Hmm.
other than saying it is important for people to choose what they find important. And if that important thing for them means taking action, then they should not fear taking action, and that they need to be bold and strong and do what their conscience compels them to do. And that lesson also applies at a personal level,
Hmm.
because many of us fear change or newness at a personal level.
Hmm.
I had a great deal of anxiety and fear when I first became an author or a speaker, because I'd never done it before and it's
Right.
scary. And I was telling you just a moment ago, I had a conversation with someone yesterday, someone who really has been wanting to do something and just isn't doing it. And so I said, well, do you really want to do it? Because a lot of times when we're not doing something, it's because maybe we're being forced to or encouraged to by external parties. But she really wants to do this. And so it's fear. It's fear. And you have to lean into it. There's no way to get around your fear. You have to walk into it to get through it. You got to go through it to get through it, as they say.
Right.
So I would say that whether you're facing fears on a personal level, or whether you're really experiencing some of these global insecurities that we're all dealing with, lean into them. Do what your conscience is telling you to do. Do what feels right. And, it's better to take a chance and fail than to never try,
Right.
because you will regret never trying.
I think it's such a great point, and I appreciate that you say at this particular point, and it can go for so many different things, because you talk about a lot of this in this particular message here. But I love the fact that you say this: win or lose, if we do our level best, we can take pride in our efforts, allowing ourselves to feel empowered by each milestone achieved as we journey forward. And I think that's it, because at the end of the day, that's all any of us can do, right? It's to
Yeah.
the point you're making there is to do the best that we can and that we know to do. This is just an example, two examples of the different messages that Ally has in her book. It's okay not to be fabulous every day. If you guys have not gotten your copy here on Amazon or on social media, we definitely invite you guys to get your copy. If you guys are joining us on the social media sites, you'll find a link that will bring you over to Amazon to get it for yourself. Ally, another great conversation with you. Let our audience know how they can stay connected with you, but also I mentioned your newsletter earlier,
Yeah.
how they can sign up for that as well.
Absolutely. I'm on all the socials. I'm most active on Instagram. You can find me under my name, Ally Dalsimer. For signing up for my newsletter, you can go to allydalsimer.com/newsletter. And the next one comes out Saturday. And, it's twice a month. It's free, and it's packed with lots of useful info.
Love it. Ella, congratulations to you again. Another great conversation. Looking forward to our next chat together.
Thank you, Cyrus. I am as well. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon.
Thanks to you as well. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.